Whatever! Ew, Cocky, ew! Sis! Sis, I kick outside of the box. Ew! Poo-poo. Yeah, yeah, poo-poo, sis. Ew. Ew, Cocky, ew.
Alright, that's it for this video. If you want to watch another
Ew,
one,
yeah,
it's really
poo-poo.
good.
Ew.
But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. So, thanks for watching.
Nanana.
Yeah.
Ew. Yeah, poo-poo, ew. Ew, Cocky, tyrant, ew. Yeah, poo-poo.
There is something that I used to call football heritage. Manchester United
No.
won the Champions League, which didn't happen
How? Back.
in 2011.
Yeah, back.
That was 2011. Since 2011, 2010.
No.
Out in the group.
What?
The group
Yeah,
was
back.
almost the same group as we had this season. Benfica,
Mama.
out in the group phase.
What?
2016, out at Old Trafford in the
Yeah,
last
Mama, yeah, back.
in 2014, out in the
Yeah.
in 2015, no European
Hmm.
football. In 2016, comes back to European football, out in
No.
the group phase.
We are toys.
On the second knockout, out of Europa League. On
No.
2017, played
Yeah,
Europa League,
toys.
win Europa
Back.
League with me, and goes back to Champions League. In 2019,
No.
win the group phase
Mm.
with 15
No.
points in possible 18 and lose
Yeah.
on the last 16. So in 7 years,
Yeah, no.
once not qualified
Mm.
twice out in
What?
the group phase.
What?
Was
Time,
This
watch.
is football.
Wow.
And if you want to go to the Premier League, the last victory was
Yeah.
13, and in the
toys.
seasons, United finished
No.
5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah.
So in the last
No.
4 years, the best was 4th. This is football heritage.
Yeah, I see.
When you start the process, you
I
are
see.
here, you are there, or you are there. It's heritage. When I arrived in
Yeah.
Real Madrid, you know how many players
Yeah, I can see.
quarterfinal of Champions League, Xabi
No.
Alonso with Liverpool, and Iker Casillas
Close.
with Real Madrid, and Cristiano Ronaldo with Manchester United.
Yeah,
All
bad.
those, not even
Yeah.
10%. That's football heritage.
Yeah,
You know what that means?
bad.
I'll give you a couple more here. In the last 7 years,
Yeah.
the worst position of Manchester City
Yeah.
in the Premier League was 4th. In the last
What are
7
you
years,
doing?
Manchester City was champion twice. And this
I'm
is what
talking
we
to
say,
you.
3 times, because they will be in 1 more week, 2, 3, or 4.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Was second twice. Heritage. Do you know what is also heritage? Is that
What are you doing up on it?
Fernandinho, Silva, Sterling, Aguero, they are investments from the past, not from the last 2 years, from the past. Do you know there are many of United players that left the club last season? See where they play, how they play, if they play. That's football heritage.
Ew, Cookie, ew, poo-poo.
Jose Mourinho once said it loud and clear. The problems at Manchester United are bigger than the manager. At the time, nobody wanted to listen. It was easier to blame the manager, but the truth Mourinho pointed out was never about him, nor about one season. It was about the way Manchester United is run. Because what does it tell you when 3 former United managers, Mourinho, Solskjaer, and Ten Hag, all got sacked in the same week? It tells you this is bigger than tactics, bigger than personalities. It's about the structure, the players, and the way projects are managed from the top. Yes, the footballing legacy weighs heavy, but the legacy of bad decisions decision-making weighs even more. For over a decade, the United board have made the wrong calls on signings, on coaches, on long-term planning, and Mourinho was right. No manager, no matter how talented, can fix a broken system alone. That's why the moment of truth has arrived with Ruben Amorim. The answer is not to sack him. The answer is to finally back a project. United must change the way they operate, the way they think, the way they build. Because if they don't, history will repeat itself again and again and again. Just look at what happened this past week. On August 28th, Besiktas sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after being dumped out of the Conference League playoffs. One day later, Fenerbahce fired Jose Mourinho following his Champions League elimination against Benfica. And 2 days after that, Bayer Leverkusen dismissed Erik ten Hag after only 3 official matches. 3 former Manchester United managers gone in the span of just 1 week. Since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013, the club has gone through coach after coach, and none have survived the storm. Ferguson himself ruled for 9,733 days. Then came David Moyes, only 295 days. Ryan Giggs, a mere 68 days as interim. Louis van Gaal lasted 679 days. Mourinho reached 900 days before the axe fell. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer stretched it to 1,068 days. Michael Carrick, just 12 days as caretaker. Ralph Rangnick, 179 days. And Erik ten Hag, 850 days, already history. 9 different men, 9 different approaches, from strict disciplinarians to smiling motivators, from tactical professors to serial winners, all swallowed by the same black hole, and still the same problems remain unsolved. So the question is clear. With hindsight, and with Amorim now under judgment, do we finally see Mourinho's time at Old Trafford differently? Was he right all along? When Jose Mourinho arrived at Old Trafford, he was supposed to be the answer. United had just lived through a complicated era of Louis van Gaal, and the club wanted something very different.
I think it comes in the right moment of my career, where I feel obviously very well prepared, very stable, and
Mourinho came in with scars from his exits at Real Madrid and Chelsea, but also with a reputation as one of the sharpest tactical minds in the game.
again, please don't call me arrogant, because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
In 2016, many saw him as the closest thing to a modern-day Sir Alex Ferguson. Yes, his time in Spain had only delivered 1 La Liga title, but he was still one of the few coaches in the world considered able to match Pep Guardiola blow for blow. That's why the 2016-17 Premier League season was sold as a blockbuster fight. Mourinho's United in red, Guardiola's City in blue. The stage was set for years of battles, for a rivalry that could define English football, and at first it seemed promising. In his debut season, Mourinho lifted 3 trophies: the Community Shield, the League Cup, and the Europa League. United were back to winning silverware, and fans believed the Portuguese was building something serious. But the truth was more complicated. The gap to Guardiola's Manchester City never really closed, and inside United's dressing room, a silent war began Mourinho against Paul Pogba.
Well, it's a move of great promise, but will it really prove productive? Some decent clearance. Well, that's certainly more like it.
What should have been the core of his project became a constant battle of power, influence, and frustration. Slowly, Mourinho stopped talking about how to make United great again. Instead, he reminded everyone of his past victories at Porto, Chelsea, Inter, and Madrid. His message turned bitter, his energy drained, and his relationship with the board collapsed. The end came not because he forgot how to win, but because Old Trafford refused to give him the tools or the control to win. Now, pay close attention, because this is where the cracks in Manchester United truly begin to show. In the summer of 2017, Mourinho asked for 4 signings. In the end, he got 3. Victor Lindelof from Benfica, Romelu Lukaku after a 25-goal season with Everton, and Nemanja Matic from Chelsea. It's a difficult market, Mourinho said at the time. I can't say I'm happy, but I don't blame anyone. This is the reality. On paper, it was over £150 million worth of talent. But history has not been kind to those decisions. While United thought they were competing, their rivals were widening the gap. Liverpool signed Virgil van Dijk for £75 million, a fee many called crazy, yet it transformed their defence overnight. United's big move in January 2018 was Alexis Sanchez, swapped for Henrik Mkhitaryan. At first, it looked like the missing piece. Mourinho now had two of the Premier League's top scorers from the previous season, but Sanchez was a disaster. Just 2 league goals in his first campaign, more goals for Chile than for United the next season. Still,
He was absolutely terrible.
Mourinho somehow dragged United to second place in the Premier League in 2017-18. He even called it one of his greatest achievements.
I also think that sometimes we promise what we see, but we don't know what is behind the scenes, and that influence what we see. And I think that is a fundamental thing. If I tell you, for example, that I consider one of the best jobs of my career to finish second with Manchester.
In every tub of this, a memory lives. The smell in the air, the rub on your chest. Care hostile from Oma to Mama to you. Relief is in our roots.
That's just what you could say.
A deo scent that hits different? Let's talk about it. Nivea Pearl and Beauty Fine Fragrance. 72-hour protection in care with pearl extract, perfume oil.
You say this guy is crazy.
And he had a point because that squad, compared to City's machine under Guardiola, was nowhere near strong enough. But instead of building on that second place finish, the club stumbled. Lindelöf and Eric Bailly had arrived, but the centre-back United truly needed never came. Van Dijk was gone, Harry Maguire's price skyrocketed, Toby Alderweireld and Jerome Boateng were dismissed as too old. So in the summer of 2018, United's only reinforcements were Fred and a teenage Diogo Dalot. Mourinho's complaints became constant background noise. Results began to collapse. The dressing room fractured, and the board, tired of the noise, pulled the trigger. The 2018-19 season ended in disaster. Mourinho sacked in December, replaced by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. United finished 6th in the league, knocked out of the FA Cup by